big scary, but it ended up not being quite as big a scary as it ended up being.
And was it like a
now
real
they're
fire?
replacing wiring and stuff.
Out.
Well, no, the horrible thing is the breaker didn't trip.
Not talk at full volume, please.
Yeah, and now the two of us are forced into a small room to like actually both be in meetings at the same time, and she's yelling at me because my voice is too loud. So I'm gonna have to shut the fuck up here.
Okay.
But you're in America. Shouldn't you be able to sue now the guy who made the electrical thing for $1 million because you all burnt down?
Well, I mean, theoretically, we also aren't on the lease.
Okay.
Ouch, yeah, that's it. Bye. Merci. That was my cleaning.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. Hey, Danny. We do, but you have a bit of a bad, you're a bit of a walkie-talkie connection, it seems.
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. I don't see you there, but I'm here.
Barely understandable there. I understood, yeah. Okay, well, otherwise, you know, like, first of all, yeah, so we're live. So let's start as always with check-in. So is it like distractions and intentions? My extremely huge distraction is that I literally slept maximum 1 hour, so my brain is mush. And I was just like up all night reading because I couldn't sleep. So my focus is not ideal, and I am prone to make mistakes today. So I'm trying not to do too much because of built up sleep deprivation. And my intention for the meeting is to able to make it to the end and to see if there is anything urgent on your guys' minds, and to go through some of the extra issues I made. And I give it to Kai because he has a good connection.
I'm distracted by making an item 3 identity. My intentions for the meeting are getting an update and see if I can help with some issues. And let's have an efficient meeting. I give it to Bowen.
Okay, I'll make this super short. Hey, it's me. I'm distracted by workers in the house that I have to deal with, and I'm going to be mostly listening. If you have any questions, just make sure you yell at me, and I will come and answer them. And hand it off to Danny.
All right. Hopefully, I think you can hear me a little bit better now.
Yes, perfect.
Yay. I am in the car again. I'm very excited with my distraction, which is that I'm moving to Atlanta and setting up a little hub there. Oh. And yeah, and I'm going to be there with my friend Hannah, who wants to know more about Giveth. So part of my intention is to hear what issues are there in communications, and maybe add a few that I've been thinking about with some of the changes going on. So excited to see what everyone else has going on, and I'll pass it. I can't see who else is here.
It's just us. So
okay, that's 4 of us. Back to you.
Perfect. Yeah. So Griff and Lorelai couldn't make it today because Griff is, as we speak, presenting at CC. So if you like, if you're on your laptop and you want to watch it, like, do like Kai and I did, like open it and like put it on pause so you can watch it. But probably for sure they'll put up the live stream on like YouTube very soon, because it seems all extremely professional and well organized, and his slides and his presentation look fantastic, of course. So that is one thing that's happening, and so Lorelai is assisting him with like presenting and so on. She told me so she cannot make it. I did, so as always, like for people who would like watch or listen in later, all the issues, the topics that we talk about are on GitHub. So they're on github.com/giveth/communication. And So as always, I'll just like pick one to start, and then we move serendipitously from one to another. So the quick thingy that I wanted to just mention, just in case, like if Lorelai would watch the stream afterwards, but I told her in any case, is for so for everything that's the organization of Odyssey, I just told her like, yeah, that it would be good, like, because we are a really large group, that it might be good because it's also like officially one of her roles to help with organizing of like lodging and events and so on. If she would be up to also like herd the cats a little bit, so because yeah, I just hope that we all got that everyone actually registered, and they registered for the right team, and everyone saw the name change and all these things, so that we can get in. And also, yeah, I added in the comment the proposal to like contact the people so that we have like their Twitter accounts and their GitHubs, so that like when we write a post about like what we're going to do at the hackathon, because I would love actually to write a post about the hackathon before we go there, to announce to the world like these are the 4 tracks, or 5 now, and these are the things that we're working on, to like tell a little bit the story with the example that we settle on. And like this we can like some of the people will already know about us before we go there, and we have a nice like storyline that ties it all together. I would love to write that post, but like we'll see how the next meetings will go. But my point is just like, then in that sense, it's easy. It's easy if we have all the Twitter accounts and GitHubs in one place that we can easily link to people, whoever writes that article or future articles. Voila, that's Odyssey. For the rest, I guess I don't think a lot is happening right now. Well, we have one team captain here, so I don't know, Kai, what is like the idea that like there's going to be like a weekly meetup for the teams, or is there any structure there yet?
We for sure said to meet up again, kind of weekly. Yeah, last week was heavy, so with all the registrations, and now we seem to have a 5th team as well. We definitely want to do stuff, or I come together again. But I think, let's see. I mean, it's a bit more than a month. I'll keep you updated.
Cool. Yeah, I know. Griff said that like the next step that he saw was indeed like not immediately comms specific, but it's comms related in a way that he said like that would be good for every team to like work on the specs document for that team. And Abby was also going to work like on a joint document, and that joint document will help me or anyone to write an article when we're like closer to the date, I guess. But that's probably gonna fall into place when we get closer. What else? So I added a number of issues. So one that I added was is what is happening, to give it a name, but I think it makes sense. We already have 4, and I like checked everything that we have for the DApp communication, and like the ones that are not called what's happening is because they're like, okay, we added die, or this is an update on the entire state of the DApp. This is more like a release update, so this could be part of our ongoing series. So I kind of like summarized what could be written for this. Ideally, because it's like a little bit, well, it's not hyper technical, but to get it out good and to get a good article for this, my favorite writers for this are Adam or Lansky, because I've both seen them do it, and I know, well, I've seen Adam write a lot, and Adam writes really well. So to me, I would say like maybe one of those people could do it. But I know Adam is right now still working on, he's just finishing up. He just actually right now sent me an article. He put the Aurora Libre or the Alibre article ready to publish, so that's going to go out immediately after this call. And he has a second one in the pipeline, and that is for Pi Day. So I'm going to check in with him to see if he wants to pick this up and if he has time. But like, yeah, I was thinking, like, if we get it out like by like beginning of next week, that would be ideal. If that makes sense to you, Danny. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like we have some other writers out there too who could maybe pick it up. I'm glad to see it there. But yeah, Adam definitely really knows how to express what's happening for us. I would really like to see that also have a link to the like some actual release notes about the DApp itself and the changes. I know that's something that we talked about in the last DApp meeting, to have a kind of a summary of what's changed in the DApp itself, especially relating to the milestone workflows and things like that, and the reviewer changes. So there's updates to the wiki that need to happen to correspond, or I don't know, before, after, during, that there's edits in multiple places we'll want to make to correspond to what we're communicating in that announcement.
Oh, that would be actually really cool, because that is perfect wiki content to go under the DApp. Like, this is the like that we have like a page with like the release notes and that we keep track of it. That would be so professional of us if we do that.
Yeah, well, you know, we've been making changes to the reward DAO too, so the contributors guide section needs to change. So it's kind of all related. The changes to the DApp facilitated changes to how reward DAO works. So now we just want to loop that back to the wiki itself and some public communications.
So what do you think is like the release notes? It's probably just like what is currently, yeah. So there's a start of it in the issue that Griff put up, I guess, with like the GitHub issue that says like these are the features that we released. But is it something that you would like to do, or do we ask like the person who writes this article to also like summarize at the same time, like put it in a sort of release note kind of document that we can put on the wiki?
You know, I think Michael's working on getting that together, and RJ was going to contribute to it since he knows a lot of what bugs were fixed, what features were added. This one combined a lot of things that were waiting to come into beta. So I think that we need to have something from RJ first to reference, and I'm pretty sure Michael's working on that.
Perfect. Okay, then I'll add that. Also link to the release notes that Michael is working on.
Yeah, and this relates to, you know, we brought George on as of, so there's a lot of things being updated as well to bring him up to speed too.
Perfect. Okay, I'm just adding this so that I don't forget. Then I know, like, then if we know, like, Michael can put up the release notes. If he says like, yeah, we're still working on this or that, like, if we know like by when he does it, then we also know like by when an article makes sense, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I think it's all happening this week. Okay. Your deadline of getting that article out next week would probably fit with having all of this done.
Okay, perfect.
I'm doing the wiki stuff.
You're putting it on the wiki. Okay, and he's just like collecting the release note.
Yeah.
And Danny.
This is where I felt like there's probably another issue to create, because I can identify a lot of the things that will need to be updated in the wiki, and I'm going to edit the things that relate to like the milestone workflow and things like that. But there's probably more updates that are available for contributors to pick up tasks as well.
Oh yeah, well for sure. Like yeah, so if you see specific things that you see that you don't get to, or that indeed that would just be nice for contributors to help and take a little bit of your burden away, yeah, please indeed just like create an issue. It was really nice to see like how Laura like created the issue for the roles process that she wants to automate a little bit. So like if we have those and we just can share them with contributors, it's perfect.
Yeah, it feels like there's a good flow there as we put that article out that says, you know, here's what we've already done. And here's a link to our GitHub where you can pick up some things that still need to be done.
For sure. Yeah. It's always like, well, there's more. There's always a link to like join us and contribute. But like if there's, we can put if we see that there's a lot, then we can put it in the post as well. Oh yeah, but you mean like specific for developers then?
Developers and writers.
Yeah.
There's things about how the DApp workflows work now that the actual drawings in the wiki will need to be revised. So process workflows are changing now, you know?
Yeah, indeed. There's quite some changes. So yeah, that would be great if you like define those a little bit, then we can get people to work on it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe I should just like, it's also more of an equal chances kind of thing if I just put like the what is happening in the contributors room. But to be honest, I'm not doing it. I haven't done it yet because there's also some contributors, like if it's like just a first person reacting, there are some contributors that are like not such great writers, and I find it really hard to then just say like, yeah, this is not for you, you know. I don't really know how to do that. And this is just also an important one that is always concise and has like a nice flow. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. But yeah, there's more tasks coming. What else? Oh yeah. Then yeah, so post on the last mile solution. So that's one I am writing on. No, sorry, post on the last mile solution. That's the one that Adam just finished. So just for your information, that one is going out later today. It's like if you have not like heard about it just yet, I think, well, Danny has, but maybe Kai and Bowen haven't. Have you guys heard about Alibre? Well, the thing that Griff wants to do with Alibre?
Which one? I mean, I know of some things he wants to do with Alibre.
Yeah, well, the thing he wants to do is he wants to work. Well, he wants to announce that we now have a second office in Tijuana, and he wants to announce that like we're collaborating with them on a last mile solution, and we're doing this together with the last mile solution that we're providing is going to be for a nonprofit called Castro Limon. And so our Alibre is actually helping with putting that like last mile solution in place. So the message is going to be mostly that we're like having someone who helps funnel money through the DApp, then to Alibre, and then it goes to the nonprofits, to Castro Limon. So that is the post that Adam has written, and so that one is going out later today. And initially the title was "We're opening a second office in Tijuana," but like I changed that a little bit to like more focus on the last mile solution, because I think that is like more relevant to like the people reading about Giveth. But it's also in there, like the reason that Griff also wanted to push that was just to say like, hey, we're looking for so we just hired Jorge, and we want to find more local developers in Mexico. So that is like the secondary message that's also in that post. And the reason that we're putting out that one is for the one that's next in the list with new issues, and that's a second post that Adam's working on, and that's a post on Pi Day. And Pi Day is happening next week. And for Pi Day, MakerDAO is gonna start a campaign to give to a number of charities. And the charities that are currently on the list that are recommended from Givit's side are Castro Limon, through Alibre, Givit itself, and I think it was Grace Aid, right, Danny? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's the update on posts that are coming.
What is the last mile solution they are implementing? The last mile for what exactly?
Oh yeah, sorry. The last mile for really getting fiat money to people. Because we currently still have like most of the world not accepting crypto, and so through the app that Alibre has, you can they can already, like, they just receive crypto on their address, which they then like get into the Alibre app, and that like through the app they can get to the people. So, but the idea is that George is actually gonna build crypto right into the Alibre in the next version, or like a sort of joint app that they're gonna launch soon, and that is gonna help whoever receives crypto to actually transfer that into fiat. And they have this entire system set up in Mexico because 51% of all Mexicans have no access to banking systems. So it's like a huge amount of people, and it's mostly like the working class, the poor working class, which is 51% of the population, and they cannot have a bank account. Banks are just not interested in them. So that's like the people that are Alibre is servicing already with their app to like give financial solutions, and like bringing crypto into the mix is like the next step. And that is the link to like, the link is just like in this case that like Givit is gonna help them like bring in as a use case, show how a nonprofit can get crypto in fiat through Alibre. I hope that explanation made some sense.
Yeah, makes sense, especially if you see, I just saw how it works. Like people use gas stations basically as like
they use the OXXO. OXXO is like their local 24. How is it called? The local 7-Eleven in like the 7-Eleven in Thailand. They have OXXO, so everyone just goes to OXXO also for like if they want to get paid for just like for their salary of the week or whatever. They get like a code from their boss, and with that code they go to OXXO. OXXO scans it and they give cash, and that's like the system, and so that's already integrated in their app.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the link. So that's that. I see like I'm getting distracted because I'm like getting pings all the time from like Alibre as we speak. So there's probably Adam saying that the article is ready. Okay. I've been talking a lot. Do people have other topics on their mind they want to talk about?
No, not right now. Preparing for ETH Paris. I hope to have something to share next week. I still recommend like reading the comments if you guys can, governing the commons.
Do you have a link for that?
Just Google governing the commons. Somebody put it up. It's the first link that comes up.
Can you say that again, Kai? Because I was just quickly answering to the Alibre people. What article should we read?
No, the book by Elinor Ostrom, Governing the Commons. If you just put in Google Governing the Commons, it will take you the first link. It's the full PDF.
I know I would really like to read it, but what is annoying to me is that I'm not good at reading nonfiction, and I would really like it in audiobook, but I don't think it exists in an audiobook form. I looked for it.
Oh yeah, Bowen. So
Yeah, Bowen, make it into an audiobook. I will give you.
and then we would have an audiobook, and you would just have revolutionized governing a commons as a new common. As an
Oh my,
And this
seriously,
book
that
is
would be.
from 2009.
No, it's actually pretty much impossible. Like just thinking now, it's half mathematical because it's yeah.
Because it has
her
schematics and stuff, or what in it.
Not only that, but she discusses game theory, and I'm still at the beginning, but at least there they discuss game theory, and that can be kind of crazy. What I can recommend is, though, I haven't read them myself, but I know that Josh is working through the book and dumping his notes on the forum. So if you just want to get a quick, I don't know how good it is to read them. Still haven't read it.
But yeah, if you find the thing
The notes?
No, so you said another book? Sorry, I was distracted again.
No, Josh made some notes while he was reading the book. He made some it's a wall of text. So, but because I'm reading the book, I did not read his notes. If you're short on time and just wanna.
Yeah, well, that's like the kind of thing, like, but I mean it, like, if I would just like listen to Bowen in my ears when I'm like out jogging and you explain that book to me, Bowen, I would pay good money.
Josh put in the forum post that, or maybe it was Kai, I don't know. I was just looking at them and I didn't pay attention to who was writing, but there's evidently a bunch of her talks on YouTube.
Oh,
so maybe that's a thing to check out.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I'm gonna add it to my never-ending list of things to see.
Oh, that's great. Now you can curate if you find a good video of her on YouTube. Just
that's good.
And tweet it.
I mean, Griff, I just went back over to the forum thing. I'm going back and forth to like mute myself because they're making a lot of noise over here. There's a YouTube post here. I'm just going to copy what Griff wrote and put it in here.
Perfect. Thanks. Okay. Yeah.
What?
Someone said something.
Hey, that's great, Bowen. Thanks. Yeah, that's funny. It's already there.
Great. Yeah, I'll watch those as well. There was one more topic that I really thought we ought to discuss, and I now completely forgot because I didn't sleep. But that's okay. If there are no other topics, oh yeah, no, there is one, and that is like I was thinking like, but it's if it's maybe an idea to use the time that is left to go through some of the issues and close them because I think a lot of them are out of date and not really relevant anymore, like Kai already mentioned as well. And some of them I really would like to like get off that list. So it's gonna be a better overview if we actually really get to this.
Okay. Issue number 122, Crypto Xmas promo.
Yes. Well, actually, I can close it. Yeah, definitely. But there is, this is actually a really good one. There is one thing that I'm going to do immediately like this. That's the thing why some of these things keep lingering on there. There was actually a question from, I don't know if you got that one as well, Kai, from one of the organizers, Chris, to fill in like a survey they created. And he said that I asked him like recently, shit, I haven't done this yet. Is it too late? And he said, no, please still provide. We're like constantly working on it. So I'm putting it in the comment here. So if you like looked at crypto Christmas cards, you gave some feedback, Kai, and you worked on it as well. And Danny, you also gave feedback, and so did I. So I'm going to close it, but I'm going to put that survey link in the final comments.
Yeah, I mean, if we do something with, because Crypto Xmas was a one-time thing, we could still try to be better friends with Radicards, because I really like the team and it's a cool thing.
Yeah, well, we saw them again in Berlin, and yeah, they definitely want to continue collaborating with us. So like, I think if they're going to do something, they'll probably reach out, and I think Danny also has a good connection with them. Or am I mixing some stuff up with the Radicards people? Actually, we lost
sorry.
Danny.
Oh yeah, I was distracted by finding this draft of Jeff's article.
Which draft of Jeff's article?
There's this other nice issue. Jeff has an article that will go out next week, and it went almost 2 months ago, like on mid-January, and it seems pretty far ahead. Maybe we could speed that one up. Did you read that?
Hang on. Interesting. Oh no, yeah, no, indeed, good point. Well,
because if you read it and say, hey, I mean, if you like, I didn't read it. I just saw this now, but
no, but it's true. It seems very close to being finalized, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of text, so maybe we can. It just needs an edit and then can go out. So Jeff at least has this out of his mind, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I'm gonna add a comment, and so yeah, the reason that it hasn't happened is because you maybe heard a story that he lost his best friend, and so it's like he's really not focused at all right now, and plus he's he's moving out with his girlfriend and all sorts of stuff. I heard him this weekend. He sent me a message. So in any case, I would say so I've just put a message that we can help him review if needed. But
yeah, he will not see it. It's just I meant maybe we can just read it, and if you read it, I will assign you. So
but there's two Jeff Emmets.
It's actually because he lost access to one of them.
I'll tag both.
I think it's the -1 that's the replacement account.
Okay.
And there's one to close, which is add Aura Libre and make it out to list of friends on the website.
That one is done? Fantastic. Thanks, Kai.
That's okay.
Great.
And if we have more friends, always happy to add more friends.
Then looking at funding strategy, yeah, that one is ongoing, but I think I'm gonna close it as well. It's if funding is a thing in itself, there's no communication going on right now. Ongoing during the weekly Friday meetings with Danny and Griff and Michael and Chris. Closed.
So there is for Bowen, there's the Debt podcast, which is an old issue, but that's maybe more like a project.
Yeah, that's mostly I'm not really a part of it going on again, probably until Burning Man happens next year, because of some sort of philosophical differences I had with Bruce.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit of I just sorry for interrupting, but I thought it would be nice to have kind of like a portal where if we would have audio content that we could put it, that maybe
you're preaching to the choir, Kai.
Without but didn't
I mean, if we're gonna do something, it's not gonna be with him. Is basically how that's going down.
So,
but that's so sad. Is it not like was it not a
well,
joint
he's running a
initiative?
business and we're doing an altruistic charity. You understand what I mean? Like he's operating it in a way that he wants to be able to monetize it, and I don't agree. And he can't use our Burning Man content that way. So unless he does a complete 180, stops trying to be a businessman and like acts like a human being, like I'm not doing anything with him.
And what's like Joshua's opinion on that?
He's interested in continuing to work on the project. I'm like I can't fault him for it, and like it's just, you know, he's able to deal with them in a way that I'm not. And
so that's crazy, man. But how is this operational structure of the whole thing?
They're running it. They were using the content from Web3. Now Josh is asking me exactly how much of the content is usable, and I said, I'm saying to him that I've given him all of the unedited content that's usable, and so he can figure it out from there. Like the work that I did so far on it, like albeit it took me a very long time. You know, now Josh, yeah, I don't care. That doesn't bother me. What the thing is like now I went out of my way to like pull some really serious favors with the Burning Man organization in order to be able to like get backdated ability to use the content. And now I handed it over to Josh because I'm washing my hands of this because I'm not dealing with it. Because I can't deal with the internal politics of a thing that was supposed to be a fun thing in the first place. I handed off the contracts and everything, and now even he's like, God, I don't know if I want to sign on any of this stuff because like I don't know how we're going to be able to release this in conjunction with something that we might be accepting money for. And I'm like, I know that was my problem in the first place with this whole thing, and this is why we set this up ahead of time. And then like you gave somebody who had the idea of being able to use this as a way to make money, the reins to decentralize all the things podcast network. and so consequently now we're in a pickle. So it's a pickle that I walked away from, at least in the interim, until a new year comes up. And then if I'm in the position of being able to say this is the way that things are going to be done, period, then we can move along by like adding, you know, more content from Burning Man next year. But as far as the whole podcast thing goes, they're their own thing now. I love Josh to death. I can do anything in the world with him. He's the greatest person. He's amazing, but I can't deal with them like as a unit. And Josh tries really hard to like he tried really hard to like help like smooth that out, but I have a fundamental like beef with him, with Bruce, that disallows my ease in like actually working on a thing with them. And like I'm only stating that in a way that it's not worth the extra effort for me to like be a part of making that happen when they are fully capable of doing it on their own, and I don't need to be a part of it.
All right. Let me capture this for like more immediate results. I mean, I think we could do a SoundCloud account or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, if Giveth wanted to do that, but you've already put up the video from the GirlyCon thing on YouTube, so maybe if Giveth just does the videos, and like maybe we can figure out a way to curate more than 1 or 2 episodes of a thing and then make them link it for us, you know, because we're going to be doing this stuff sporadically, and he's in this business model mentality of like having like there's new content every single Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, indeed.
And that's not the way that we work.
Yeah.
And because that's not the way that we work.
Okay. What about there could be like a split of things, like, because what we really want is some hosting, and like just send a file to somebody, like send a file to George, say, hey, polish up the audio, it's basically good, and then put it out there, and no matter what is in the general programming strategy. So it could be maybe a different site.
Well, I mean, it could be, and theoretically, it all comes down to the fact that Griff is paying for all this. So, like, I mean, I'm sure there is a please do this for us because we're paying for it.
Was that he's not going to do that anymore? He said.
Oh, he's not paying for it anymore.
No, okay. that was like the last thing.
Okay, so it would be possible, I would assume, to like figure out. Basically we're going to end up having to do it ourselves and asking them to link it. Like, that's kind of what it's come down to.
But I think question, because we could indeed like go the other way, which is like putting it on SoundCloud or whatever. But like what Kai suggests, if we just send it to them because they need content and we're providing free content to them. Would they actually use it now or
no?
No,
not if it isn't like a cluster or an ongoing series that has like scheduled releases. He's not interested. Like, I mean, that was the hill that I died on.
Yeah, I saw that happening. That dying. Yeah.
So, like that, I mean, he wasn't interested in it, so I'm not going to argue the point. That being said, if we want to put together a number of episodes that aren't scheduled and come out when we feel like doing it, I'm sure that we can get them to promote it. And I'm sure that we can actually also use the same Libsyn account to publish it, but it's going to have its own name, and we're going to have to figure that out. I'd be happy to help with that project, as long as I don't have to like try and make it happen on their end.
It's we get it. I mean, even call it a decentralized all the things podcast. The totally centralized publishing is
that's not ideal.
Yeah.
And it's also like they sorry, go ahead. I forgot.
No, I'm done. I think we all know where I'm at.
No, the thing I just wanted to say is that we don't really need them to, like, in a sense, like I've been heavily promoting them. They need us more than we need them. So if we like put it up somewhere and like, hey, here's like an audio version for you to listen to this, like in a podcast form, and just we linked to it, like, and we just created indeed like on SoundCloud or Libsyn or whatever, like Kai wants to put it on. We can just like promote it ourselves. We don't need them for this.
It's also maybe, I mean, we can also respect that, because I'm not really talking about podcasts. I'm really interested in, sometimes we have recordings where it came up at GirlyCon that the video was not the greatest, but the audio was very fine. And, just let it auto-analyze in an audio tool program and just make a simple workflow and push it up somewhere on SoundCloud is probably more what we want. It's just for things where we have good audio and bad video.
Yeah, and even if we have good video, to be honest, it's like I listen, like Griff's talks, like they're like on YouTube. It's annoying. Like most of the time, I listen to stuff when I'm jogging, but you cannot do that with YouTube if you're not paying. So like it's easier if I have it on like a SoundCloud account or something. So I think it's a good thing. It's just another form of like digesting content that we put out.
Well, like I said, Griff's already paid for a Libsyn account for decentralize all the things. So there's no reason at all that we cannot put our content up there as we please. It just has to be negotiated with the people that have the passwords.
Okay, and is that something you're up to, Bowen, or do you prefer?
I mean, I can ping Josh about it. Yeah, I mean, just ask Josh, and he's a really good ombudsman, but like I was not willing to negotiate on my terms, on the way that it should be done, which was the whole point, is why I can't work with them. So like, yeah, it can be done. I'm sure they will do it. You just probably somebody has to ask Josh to do it, because it's not a real issue. And it shouldn't be treated as such. It's just like hey, we want to put audio up. When we get it, we'll do all of the production and everything, but we need a place to put it, and it would be really cool if you promoted it. I mean, it seems like it should be a non-issue, and since we already have like the the Giveth Audio logo, and we have at least two competent, capable voiceover people to do intros and like light production to like put these things out. Like, you know, for example, I could do that if we have, you know, a few things that we want to put together to do that.
Well, can we make that like a specific action point then now, saying like, okay, we have the GirlyCon content, which I haven't tweeted yet, that we do a first trial with that one, that we put it, that you ask Josh like, hey, can we have the password? You upload it there, the YouTube video that exists, and we do that, and then we have a first one.
Well, I mean, I can ask him, hey, so we plan on doing sporadic releases of one-off material.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be able to put that up. How do we do it? And maybe that needs to go in the podcast core Telegram, I think that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it kind of needs to be like not a discussion. It just needs to be a how do we do this? And it needs to be kind of approached that way, because like it's not a discussion.
No,
and I understand. Yeah, and I understand that like we don't know when we're gonna have more content coming out and stuff, but like there's a thing that Griff's doing today, I guess, or like an hour ago or whatever, that could be going up pretty much immediately, and like
same as like
it would be cool to get the 3-hour thing that he did with Crypto and Rafa the other day. If we could ask Crypto's permission to put that up. Like things like that would be great to be able to have up there, but we don't know when they're going to happen, and that goes against his business strategy.
Well, okay. So question: can you ask him, or do you prefer I ask in the group?
I mean, ask. If you can, if you would like to do it, you might be better at it than I am, because I start to get angry very quickly with this because I've already tried to make this happen once. But I can also say like, hey, this is going to happen. You know, make peace with it.
Yeah.
How do you want to make this easy for us? You know, is probably like the way that I would go about it.
You know, I'll just like shoot if you're afraid that that you might come off as a little bit too aggressive. I'll just shoot a gentle message, even just addressing Joshua in the group and saying like, hey, that lip sync account that we paid for, how can we get access? Because we have some like one-off content that you guys are not interested for DATT, but we want to like publish it. Could you like send us like the access login thingies?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it should be. Like I said, it should be trivial.
Yeah. Well, I'll just like write it literally like what I just said.
Okay.
And then I'll just log in, and voila. So that's then that I'll try to do that today. And I'll create. And then the question is just like, okay, we will have the access. Then is this a project you're like interested in like taking on, Bo, and then indeed like following up a bit for well, there's a GirlyCon that you can like start on immediately, and that we then can publish. You can contact Omar, or I can shoot him a direct message if you want to.
Yeah, I actually haven't ever been put in touch with Omar. I mean, we camped at Burning Man together, but we never hung out, so like I don't have the direct connection to him.
I have I have him on WhatsApp, so I could ask him if you want to. So GirlyCon, Omar, and I don't know. I haven't watched the Libre one yet, so I don't know if it's like, but it's probably also something that could work.
I think Alexi's. I have to go back and listen to Alexi's thing. Chris is kind of cute, but there's the whole visual Kermit thing that happens in the middle of it that kind of probably takes it away from being good podcast material.
Yeah.
That being said, I can take a listen to the GirlyCon stuff and see how it sounds and see if it needs more than minimal editing, and if we can come up with basically, I don't want to have to write the copy like that has to be said, but I'd be more than happy to narrate it if we need an intro or whatever. for these things. I can totally do it. It only takes me a few minutes to record a voiceover.
Well, Kai, I think you were at well, yeah, of course, yeah. We're probably, you would say, like, we do like a specific voiceover to just like introduce
just
like,
an intro
about,
for the
right?
series.
Yeah,
just an intro for whatever we're going to call the series, which we also need to figure out, and say just sort of an intro for whatever that particular material is.
Oh, and we have another great one, the Mozilla one. The Mozilla.
Yeah, which would also be good. I think that they're hoping that we generate more content for them, but I think that they really want that content to be scheduled and regular, so they can actually put episode titles and things and like whatever.
Well, I would propose as a title, just give it talks, because I've already used that hashtag.
I'm okay with that.
And under it, we can just like, and give it talks. It's like all content that we recorded and that we wanted to put out, because we think it's nice content that we want to share with the world in a voice, in like an audio version for people who want to listen on it in that form. So that's probably something like that like the text needs to be, but better written than what I just like rambled. Okay, so we'll just start with the access. Next step is that you can check content. Well, the GirlyCon one, the Mozilla we already know. I can then also contact Omar, and we're started, and we're off. And then I can.
Yeah, that's 3 episodes is a good start for sure.
Yeah. So Chris will write a short blurb. Or ask or brief someone to write a short blurb. I'll see.
I'm sure I can get some great stuff at Odyssey as well later.
Yeah, for sure. Well, actually, yeah, there's the ethical deep dive. It would be so cool to record that, but it's.
Oh yeah,
I don't have it.
Oh yeah,
this Friday.
Oh yeah. Do you have a recorder? You couldn't make an episode on the spot.
Yeah, but the thing, that's not only that. It's like, I guess I would need to ask permission from all 70 people there if I can record them, right?
Yeah, but you could have.
Or you just
somebody.
You just really need to tell them it's being recorded. You don't need to have their permission. You say, like, by entering this room, you are consenting to being recorded on a sign at the door.
You know what? I'll just shoot a quick message to Anna, and I'll ask her if it's already being filmed. And if it's being filmed and recorded with good audio, then we can just take it. And if we are allowed to, and also put it in if it's interesting, because I don't know.
That is probably the wisest thing. Collaborate with their media team.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put that also in my list so that I don't forget. Contact Anna, media team, dive. Okay, so yeah, and then we know immediately, like, if they're recording, they already notified people that they will be recorded anyways, and it's promotion for them, so they'll be cool with it, and they seem extremely nice and open and a bit chaotic. Okay, Bo will record and work on audio, putting that. Content on lip sync. Is it LIBS? No, LIBSYNC?
SYN. There's no C.
SYN. Lipsin. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Perfect. Well, it's already past 7. But you were on a roll, Kai? Are there others that you see?
I was reading through, checking. I mean, I checked now all those ones off that you closed. There are some epics here. I mean, there's lots of things.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of like if you filter. Oh yeah, Danny closed most of the depth.
Can you probably a sovereign identity project could be renamed ident3 if you want to, or close it because it's not.
But that's not ident3. That's something else, I think. Right?
Oh, it is. Oh, that's the Void Coney thing.
Yeah. So, but I think we can indeed close it. Closing this, not a direct comms.
There's an Aragon interview series. Team interviews number 42 closed.
Yeah, that's definitely closing. Team interview, where do you see that? That's not Aragon. Oh yeah, that's in there probably then, you mean.
Sorry, I'm going so quickly. Do you need the ID?
No, I'm reading it.
Also number 30.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, the team interviews, I didn't, that because I was like, what did Danny put there? But it's like, she thought that we had to, that Aragon asked us, but it's not really at all. I just meant like do something similar, which is like writing interviews with our unicorns. So that's actually nice content that, yeah, I hope we'll still put out one day. Yeah. And that's something actually, that's the thing actually, that's why Bowen's name is on it, because like he started doing this with like the social coding projects, and I really love those blog posts, Bowen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why your name got on there at the time.
Yeah. Well, I plan on doing those again once we have projects that are, fleshed out to that point. And like now we're having some kind of question around whether or not, our continued involvement in funding Paslar's projects, and like at what point that stops being a thing. Because, he's bugged me about like trying to fill the milestones for Etherbank and stuff. And I'm like, well, we're trying to make sure that we get ourselves paid right now. Please feel free to, send any of your, blanked out donors to the Give Us page, because they can donate directly.
Yeah.
There's, but
yeah,
I think that once we have some more big projects, or like after this hackathon, it might be fun to write a thing about it.
You guys talk about it. Sorry, I have to leave. Just
okay.
Ciao.
No problem.
Bye,
okay, Kai, see you.
Good to talk to you, Kai.
Thanks, Kai.
But yeah, I mean, something like that might be fun. But
that would be actually really cool in the sense that also, like, yeah, it's linked to social coding.
I mean, that might be a Josh thing because he's there, though. Like,
that is true.
That's one thing that I do not have the advantage on, and because Abby, wrote the thing about the Packville team in East Denver, there wasn't a necessity for me to write a thing because she had that on lock.
Yeah.
I haven't been involved because my involvement wasn't necessary yet. That's all. I mean, I'm totally willing and capable and able to do it. It just there hasn't been a thing for me to do as far as that goes.
No, it's true.
Yeah, if you want to point me at a thing, I'd be happy to like look into it.
Well, I would just say like no, like if you at some point are like, hey, I don't have enough to do. Well, there are texts we can write, but it's not like if you're like, no, I'm like still like trying to like organize social coding and so on, I have enough to do, then it's fine, of course. But you just have a great writing style. So like,
well, thank you so much.
I really love reading you. So at some point, like if you're like, hey, I feel like writing something, like Danny said, there's like, first of all, there's like things on the wiki that needs to be rewritten. These team interviews with just us, like because we're the community, like explaining like what our backgrounds is, like there's so much that we can do, and I'm just not getting to it myself. So there's always content. If you want to write, there is content to write about. And some of these are still on the list here.
Okay. I need to stop fighting with this. I've run into like a very simple but extremely difficult problem as far as the bridge monitor code goes at the moment. That I've been fighting with for a number of days. That like I just it's a problem, and it's probably due to a lack of my knowledge rather than like a problem with the way that things are running. That I would like to get over that one little hurdle before I attempt to take on anything else. However, that being said, if you want to like maybe suggest a couple of things for me to look at, like I can totally look at them like when I'm not like beating my head against Visual Studio.
Right now, well, I would say like remind me, and first like focus on your problem.
Okay.
I don't want to distract you. And the things that are top of mind are currently being handled, but I think I personally feel that I'm like slacking on getting content out, and like getting it created. You know, there's writers who want to write. It's just like me not like ordering around or something or creating issues. You know,
okay.
But like the moment that you see like, hey, I have bandwidth, please tell me, because I like working with you.
Yeah, if you give me a couple of days, like maybe the beginning of next week, hopefully
no
by
rush.
this weekend,
There's
hopefully
no
by
rush
this week
whatsoever.
I can get this taken care of. But
Okay.
have you seen? Yeah, there's. Well, I mean, we can probably stop the stream also.
Oh yeah, first gonna stop the stream. Whoever watches this. Or ever watches this in the future in like 2035. Greetings from Given. Bye everyone.